Okay, good morning. I'm in Columbus, Georgia on the Columbus Riverwalk Trail. I'm going to go for a short ride by downtown Columbus right now. And I'm going to head to Fort Benning and then ride around on Fort Benning for a little bit around the Airborne School and then head back to the hotel. To do a short ride this morning and just want to record bits and pieces of it. Going to pass on your left. So this trail is really nice. It parallels the Chattahoochee River, and it's got a lot of shade on it in most of the parts as you're going through it. And if you stay on the trail, it'll take you all the way right to Fort Benning. So I'm here this week for an Army Ranger reunion and brought my bike with me to get a few rides in during the week. Nice and cool this morning. It's a little humid out, but it's not too bad. This trail actually will go under this building for a little bit. Okay, we're going to go through this pretty cool wooden bridge. Miles since I left downtown Columbus area. This wooden bridge, pretty nice. Add some scenery, additional scenery to the trail. And now we're back on the paved trail. Okay, got another bridge. This one's a concrete one. About 5 miles since I left downtown Columbus area on the trail. And I'm just gonna stay on this trail until I get close to the infantry museum. And then I'll jump off this trail onto a road for just a little bit. Then I'll be able to jump on another trail that'll get me onto Fort Benning and start heading me closer to the Airborne School Area. You do have a few hills on this trail. For the most part it's flat, but every now and then. Okay, just a little over 7 miles since I left downtown Columbus. Now we're on the part of the trail that kind of pulls away from the river, so you can no longer see the river to your right. We're passing by a water treatment center, so you can smell that as you go by it. Whew. Okay, so almost 9 miles since I left, and you'll cross the street and jump on the trail. There'll be a sign there that says Oxbow. It says Fort Moore. They'll probably rename it to Fort Benning soon on that sign. And then you'll pedal by this golf course off to my left. Another option was I could have jumped on that road and gone to the roundabout and taken the first right. That would have taken me to the road that goes the backside of Hampton Inn and National Infantry Museum. And then once I get past there, I could have jumped back on the trail in that area. But instead, I'm just going to stay on the trail. Okay, we're pedaling by the backside of the Infantry Museum where they've got a recreation of a World War II barracks and World War II buildings from what it was like being on Fort Benning in World War II that you can walk through and tour during certain hours. They hold a lot of ceremonies, like graduation ceremonies and stuff at the field right over there. So I think right now I heard them starting to play music and rehearse for a ceremony that might be coming up soon. Another wooden bridge. This bridge gets really slippery when it's wet, so if you ever ride here, it's just recently rained, just be real careful on this bridge. Your tires will slide right out from underneath you on this thing. It gets pretty slick. Okay, I'm now actually on Fort Benning, so the trail goes right by the MP gate. And then while you're on the trail, I've already seen 2 different signs with QR codes on it that you can scan with your phone, and it'll pull up a trail map system for the recreational trails or bike trails that are on post. So you actually have a little map on your phone and see where these trails go. Over 11 miles into the ride from where I left downtown Columbus. Okay, so see, just over 12 miles into the ride from downtown. Now you do get one nice sized hill on this trail. And then once you get just past the top of this climb, this just past here is where the trail ends. And then you jump out on roads. You go do a loop around the Airborne School. So Airborne School, where they do all their training, is just off to my right. I'll record a little bit as I go around to see from different angles. I'm just going to do one loop around here. And then head back to the hotel. Okay, so you see right ahead is the 250-foot towers. And in front of those, you see the 34-foot towers they jump out of. And right to my right, you see a C-130. And if you go through Airborne School, this is where you'll be going through all your training at. They break the fields down into different sections, and depending on what training you're going through that day is what part of the section you go through. Went through this back in July, August 1981. So it's been a while since went through my training here. Nice day today. So that was like almost 14 miles from downtown Columbus to here. If you ever wanted to do a ride and go from there to here, 14 miles, so it's about 28 miles round trip if you were going to do